Welcome to Royal Secret. In a turn of events that has left the Danish public and indeed, the world, speechless, Alexandra, Countess of Frederiksborg, has launched a shocking legal battle against the Danish royal family. And not just any branch of it. Her lawsuit specifically targets her ex-husband, Prince Joachim, the youngest son of Queen Margrethe II. Yes, you heard right. The woman once known as Denmark's fairy tale princess is taking her former prince, and his royal household, to court. At the heart of this battle, a demand for compensation. But the implications stretch far beyond money. Why now? Why take the fight public? And what does this mean for the future of a royal family already reeling from recent upheavals? In this special investigative report, we peel back the royal curtain and uncover the secret tensions, hidden legal threats, emotional undercurrents, and dramatic consequences of one of the most explosive royal confrontations Denmark has ever seen. To understand the stakes of this royal lawsuit, we must begin at the beginning, with a romance that once charmed the Danish public. Born Alexandra Christina Manley in Hong Kong, she was an international woman of education, elegance, and quiet poise. When she met Prince Joachim of Denmark in the early 1990s, the chemistry was instantaneous. Their engagement was swift, their wedding in 1995 a grand national celebration. The Danish press fell in love with Alexandra just as much as the prince did. She was dubbed a modern-day Cinderella, an outsider who was now living within the enchanted walls of European royalty. She became the Countess of Frederiksborg, bore two sons, Prince Nikolai and Prince Felix, and seemed to embody the next generation of royal modernity. But behind palace gates, the fairy tale was unraveling. By 2005, the marriage was over. The couple divorced, the first royal divorce in Denmark since 1846. Still, the breakup was said to be amicable, and for a while, that seemed to be true. Alexandra retained her title as countess and was even granted a generous financial settlement, reportedly including a royal annuity paid by the state. She was allowed to remain within the royal fold, for the sake of the children, many believed, and was often seen at family events, standing just slightly outside the royal spotlight. But today, that carefully maintained peace is shattered. Alexandra is not just speaking out, she's suing. According to legal filings reported by Danish media, Alexandra is taking the case to the Danish civil court, citing breach of financial agreements, and what insiders are calling a betrayal of post-divorce arrangements originally brokered by the Crown itself. While the official documents remain sealed for confidentiality, sources close to the case suggest Alexandra is seeking substantial financial compensation, alleging that agreements made at the time of the divorce are no longer being honored, either by Prince Joachim or the wider royal institution. This is where the story becomes explosive. Because in Denmark, royal finances are a deeply sensitive political issue. The monarchy, while beloved by many, receives taxpayer support, and any lawsuit involving royal money instantly becomes a matter of national interest. The mere fact that a former royal is suing the monarchy threatens to unravel years of tightly controlled PR, and could open the floodgates to questions about transparency, fairness, and how ex-royals are treated. What makes this even more personal is that Alexandra was not stripped of her title after her divorce, unlike Meghan Markle, for instance, whose royal status in the UK was drastically reduced after leaving the firm. In Denmark, she remained Countess of Frederiksborg, her title bestowed for life by Queen Margrethe herself. That symbolic loyalty now stands in stark contrast to the legal battle currently playing out behind closed doors. Prince Joachim, now married to Princess Marie, relocated to Paris, where he's been serving in a diplomatic role for the Danish Ministry of Defense. But his strained relationship with the monarchy has been well documented. Just last year, he made headlines for publicly criticizing his mother, Queen Margrethe, after she stripped the royal titles from his children with Alexandra and Marie, arguing that the move would help them lead more normal lives. Joachim, visibly emotional during interviews, called the decision hurtful, and admitted to feeling mistreated. Now, as his ex-wife sues him for breach of financial responsibility, the prince finds himself cornered once again, this time not just by family politics but by the weight of legal accountability. Sources inside the Danish press suggest Joachim is deeply upset by the lawsuit and feels the case undermines years of efforts to keep family matters private. Others say he is preparing a strong legal defense, arguing that the terms of the original agreement were not violated, or that if changes were made, they were done legally and in good faith. Is this just about money? Insiders insist it's more than that. Alexandra has remained notoriously private over the years, rarely speaking to the press and avoiding the limelight except for family events. But those who know her say she has grown increasingly frustrated in recent years, not just by financial changes but by a growing sense of exclusion and broken promises. According to one anonymous source, this lawsuit isn't just about money. It's about respect. It's about honoring what was agreed upon. Alexandra gave up a great deal for the crown, her career, her privacy, her independence, and she wants those sacrifices acknowledged. The fact that she chose to file a formal lawsuit, rather than quietly negotiate behind palace doors, suggests her patience has run out. Scene: Danish newspapers spinning off the press, dramatic headlines reading, "Royal Lawsuit," and "Alexandra sues Prince Joachim," flash across the screen. The lawsuit has ignited a firestorm, ripping through the monarchy's carefully cultivated image and sparking debates from parliament to palace to public square. And now, Denmark is asking, how did a fairy tale end in a courtroom? As word of the lawsuit broke, Danish society erupted with emotion. On social media, forums, and national talk shows, the question on everyone's lips was the same: how could this happen? Some citizens were firmly in Alexandra's corner. They remembered her grace during her royal years, her dignified presence post-divorce, and her ongoing role as a mother to two prominent young princes, Nikolai and Felix. To them, Alexandra wasn't stirring trouble, she was fighting for justice. "She gave the crown her best years," said one commentator on Denmark's DR1 News. "And now, she's being discarded. That's not right." But others weren't so sure. Some critics accused the Countess of entitlement, arguing that the annuity and privileges she received post-divorce were already generous by any standard. "She left the royal family. The people owe her nothing," said one headline in the conservative Danish tabloid BT. This tension isn't just playing out in comments and columns, it's now part of a national conversation. Politicians have been asked whether state funds tied to Alexandra should be reevaluated. Royal commentators wonder aloud whether this could prompt the monarchy to tighten its rules for royal divorces going forward. For the royal house, every headline, every debate, and every viral post adds to the pressure. If there are two young people most affected by this unfolding drama, it's Alexandra's sons, Prince Nikolai, now 24, and Prince Felix, 21. Once considered rising stars of a modern monarchy, the brothers were thrown into the spotlight last year when their grandmother Queen Margrethe stripped their royal titles, reclassifying them as Counts of Montpezat. The decision stunned the public and reportedly devastated the family. Now, their mother is at legal war with their father. Insiders say Nikolai, a popular model and influencer, has taken the news particularly hard. Known for his cool, composed image, he has reportedly been avoiding press inquiries, but close friends suggest he is torn between loyalty to his mother and respect for his royal heritage. Felix, who has mostly avoided the spotlight since completing military training, has stayed quiet, but the silence only emphasizes the awkwardness. These are young men growing up between two fractured worlds: the royal institution they were born into, and the modern reality that's now suing it. What makes this even more emotionally complex is that Alexandra and Joachim were once celebrated for co-parenting peacefully after the divorce. Their ability to appear together at major events and milestones gave hope that not all royal splits had to be bitter. Now, that image is being shattered, and it's being done in public. In Denmark, Queen Margrethe II is revered, known for her artistic spirit, stoic leadership, and near-unbreakable public composure. So when asked for a statement about Alexandra's lawsuit, the royal house's icy silence was telling. No official comment, no royal rebuttal, no indication of support for either party. But behind closed doors, whispers abound. Royal insiders suggest the Queen is deeply troubled by the lawsuit, not because of the money involved, but because of what it symbolizes: the monarchy's loss of control over its internal affairs. According to palace sources cited in Danish weekly Se og Hør, the Queen may feel personally betrayed. After all, it was Margrethe who granted Alexandra the lifelong title of Countess of Frederiksborg, a rare and permanent honor. She also approved the initial financial settlement and reportedly worked to ensure that Alexandra was never completely excluded from royal life. One royal historian speculated, This lawsuit could be seen as a slap in the face to the Queen's own judgment. She made space for Alexandra. And now that space is being used to attack the institution. Still, others suggest that the Queen, who has seen her fair share of royal crises over her 5-decade reign, is likely to let the legal system run its course without intervention. After all, a monarch who interferes in civil litigation could face public backlash. But the silence speaks volumes, and it may soon become impossible to maintain. This isn't just a Danish scandal, it's a warning bell for royal families across Europe. Because Alexandra's lawsuit touches on a subject most monarchies dread, what happens when a royal marriage ends, but the financial ties, and public scrutiny, never really do. Across the continent, royal exes are often caught in limbo. Some, like Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, remain semi-involved with the royal fold. Others, like Princess Diana, were famously cut adrift, with tragic consequences. What Alexandra is doing, filing a civil lawsuit against her former husband while still holding a noble title, is almost unprecedented in modern monarchy. Royal watchers now wonder, will other former royal spouses follow suit? Could we see more litigation over royal agreements, inheritance, or titles in countries like Sweden, Norway, or even the United Kingdom? It's possible, because what Alexandra has done is draw a line in the royal sand, challenging not only a prince but an entire system that has long expected women to quietly disappear after divorce. His may be the moment the modern ex-royal era truly begins. Just stay put as we unfold the next episode of this court case in our next video. Thanks for watching.